Yeah, this is definitely clickbait. Is Jillian Gerasimek a killing machine? Hmm. Let's see. I'm going to invite her and see what she has to say. Oh, there she goes. Is Jillian Gerasimek, are you a killing machine?
God.
What's up,
You
Jillian?
almost got my name right, though. That spelling's a little off, but you're right there.
I'm gonna edit it. Which? Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, oh gosh. Hold on. Let's make sure. I knew there was an I in there somewhere. Let me edit that, and then put. I gotta change out that I for an E, right? All
Yeah,
right.
and then
There
the
we go.
I is next to the S. There we go.
All right. All right. So, this is so some years ago, and I actually got to perform this song at the fourth annual Zeitgeist Media Festival a few years ago,
Mm.
and it was actually the song that got me onto that show.
Mm.
The Zeitgeist Media Festival. A lot of people say that it's a communist thing. I don't know. Um, I didn't really care about that. I just remember that um, they did a call for songs
Hmm.
or for people to present at their fourth annual media festival. And as a musician, I thought, hey, I can present this song. And I thought that because I just thought that they were mainly like what do they call them today? Social justice
Warriors.
advocates or social activists? Yeah, social. I don't like that term, but yeah, they're so that's where anyway, it got me into that. So I thought, hey,
Hmm.
social justice, and they were doing a food drive, and so I was helping with the food drive and
Oh,
all that good stuff. So, but so um, these lyrics are from the song called "Killing Machine," and you, how long have you been in the Marine Corps?
7 years. September, so a little over 7 years.
So a little over 7 years, and why are you deciding to leave now?
I it's just it doesn't give me as joy as it used to, right? And when I reenlisted, I was like, I'm ready. I'm not done yet. I had so much world to see. So much more to do, and it just had so much joy still, right? And when it came around for me to thinking about reenlisting again, I didn't have that feeling anymore, and I was like, I
Okay.
I've done what I came here to do, and it's now for me to move on. And there's a lot of things that could keep me in. There's money. There's different assignments I could do. I could change to MOS, but I just I'm tired of the maintenance of being a Marine.
Hmm.
You just don't just get it, and then you gotta keep maintaining it. Like
Yeah.
a piece of machinery, killing machine. I guess. You gotta stay fit, which is fine, but it's at
Yeah.
a level of like either you're at this level of fitness or you're a bad person. They attack your like they get to the point where they're like attacking your character because you can't run 3 miles in 31 minutes. I think is my like no wait like the longest I can take to run 3 miles, and I
3 miles in 31 minutes?
that's at the slowest.
That is
But
pretty slow.
it's pretty slow. No, it is. It is. A lot of people
No,
joke.
no, no, because I was doing 3 miles in like 17 minutes or something like that.
Oh wow, look at you!
And
Because for
I
male to
still,
get max points, it's 18 minutes. So you're like
uh,
run 6 minute miles or sub 6 minutes, which is
well,
insane.
they're sub 6 minutes. I actually run the last mile faster than the first two.
Because you're amazing. That's why.
No, I just because it's crazy because I have this obsession thing going on, which just has a long, deep-rooted history and insecurity about the Earth being attacked by ninja, mutant, alien zombies, and that the only thing that I can do
Is run.
to be one of the defenders of the Earth is either run or hit and run. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, they always would tell us in boot camp, run for your freaking life. And so, I mean, they'd be running in front of us, and I was like, "Well, I feel like I'm running away from you." Like, I got to
Yeah, right.
the point where I was trying to outrun my drill instructor, which was impossible because she was super tall and lanky, and that runner, that thin runner type body, like type,
Yeah.
and so I was like, I knew I probably couldn't do it, but it was just something fun because I didn't take it serious anymore because I'd been there for almost 6 months at that time, and I was like, I just don't care anymore, and I'm gonna make this a game, and that's what got me through it. Is just I just made it a game,
Yeah.
but you got to run it at least once a year, and you had to pull ups or push ups, and you had to do these crunches, which is now turning into a plank, and then the CFT, you have to run a half mile, and I
What
think
did you
the
say?
long
CFT.
CFT, combat fitness test, is what it is.
Yes. Okay.
And so you run a half mile, 880 like yards, 180 yards or 880 feet, whatever. Anyways, 2 laps around the track. And then you do and we have the slowest for females. I think it's like 4 minutes. Anything under 4 minutes, you're good. The fastest to get the most points is like for my age group, it's 310, 315. I think it's that you have to run it to make it the most points. And then you do in 2 minutes as many ammo cans that you had lifts, and those are about 35 pounds, 30 pounds. And the max points for us, I mean, the max amount of ammo cans, I think it's like 75. I think the minimum you have to do is like 40 in 2 minutes. And then the last one is the maneuver under fire, and that is, oh, it's literally if you it's 100 feet, so a football length, but you run it a total of like 3 times. And I think I did mine this year.
Wait. Hold up. You said 100 feet or 100 yards?
100 yards. Sorry, 100. Is it 100 yards? Yeah, it's a football field length,
Yeah.
right? And so you're running. So you start out running, and then you crawl for 20. So 20. It's all in like 25s, right? So you run for 25 yards, and then you drop, and you low crawl, and then you baby crawl like on your like just hands and feet. You baby crawl, and then you get up and you zigzag around these cones that are 10 feet apart, and then you get up and you get your buddy and you drag them like diagonally. You take them and you put them over your shoulders, so you do a fireman carry, and you sprint back to where you started. You drop them off. You take 2 ammo cans and you run and you zigzag. You put them down. You throw a like dummy grenade, and hopefully you hit because it adds 5 or 3 seconds, either plus or minus if you're in like that little square about 25 meters away. You do 5 push-ups. You get up. You take your ammo cans. You go. You zigzag through those cones, and you sprint to the end. It's intense, and I'm just over it. I'm over it. And then shooting on the rifle range, they changed the range, and you're shooting this man-sized target from 500 yards away, or is it meters? I can never remember, but 500 yards
Probably
away.
meters.
It's probably, I think it's meters. Yeah, 500 meters away, and it's like, and you have to, so you get down in the prone, you shoot your round as you shoot like whatever, and then you get back up. You can do that like 3 or 4 times, and then you walk down, and then you do it at 300 meters. You never do anything at 4, and then you shoot on these barrier things, and so you're slowly getting closer to the target, and then you do these like drills or whatever, and the last one after all of this, and you're full flak in Kevlar, right? You have to do a
How
walking
heavy is
failure to
that
stop.
gear?
Um,
In full flak and Kevlar? Because I know some fictional characters that used to carry like uh, I think it was something like 50 pounds of gear or some
uh,
crazy stuff like that.
well, it depends if you have the sappy, so like the bullet like plates in it. So if you're
Oh right.
Yeah, so I think on that range, I don't think you need to have them. But if you were in full flak Kevlar, I think it adds like 20, 25 pounds to you,
Okay.
which is exhausting if you're getting up and
Of
getting down,
course.
like doing like burpees, basically. And so at the very end, you have to do a failure to stop. So 2 to the chest, 1 to the head, as you're moving towards the target, as you're walking. You know how hard that is?
Failure to
Um,
stop.
Yeah, failure to stop. That's the drill name. So to the chest, one in the head.
Wow. So center mass and wow.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like there's these three different drills you have to do, and if you fail, if you don't make it, then you go from expert, boom, now you're a sharpshooter. If you don't make that one, boom, down you're marksman. And so you can get two out of the three, right?
Wait a
So two
minute.
out of
Wait a
three.
minute. See, I thought I was doing pretty badass. Wait a minute. So there's expert, sharpshooter, and then marksman.
Yeah, and so people
So
are like, yeah,
marksman
she's
is
a
like lower
marksman.
than those two.
Yo, yeah, yeah. If you're a marksman, you suck.
What? Wow.
But
I
for
thought
us, like,
marksman. I thought marksman was like somewhere up high. You know what I mean? Like I thought there was like. But wow.
no.
So sharpshooter is above marksman.
Yes, it's like the middle. And so now since the range has become a lot harder, sharpshooter is like you're doing good because you got two out of the three. But if you're expert, so a lot of times like everyone was an expert, so they made it harder. And so now the chances of you getting experts, like 16% of all Marines are experts now.
Mm.
And when beforehand it was probably like 85%, or whatever. So
Because I remember I was shooting targets from 50 yards away, and they were only the size of like a silver dollar.
oh wow. Wow. Were you
But it,
pistol or rifle
no,
or?
we were using a very small caliber. It was a 22
Mm.
rifle. I'm sure if I used higher caliber stuff, I mean, I shoot all the time now,
Hmm.
but the first thing I ever shot on when I was 16 was a 22 rifle, and it was for the Navy ROTC.
Mm. I think that's amazing. I don't really like 22 because it feels like a BB gun to me. Like
Well,
there's no backfire. I'm just like, yes, it'll
basically,
stop somebody. Like, of course it could kill somebody, but I like higher calibers. I like 9
depends on where
mil.
you're shooting
And
and what
yeah,
you're
it does
shooting.
depend on what you're shooting, who, like, meaning like
Right.
whatever it is, not who. Hopefully, it's never a who, unless they're coming at you, like trying to kill you.
Um, the yeah, I mean, some of the higher caliber weapons they do better, but you see, I think that for example, in a lot of situations, it's just my opinion from what I've seen that I think that a lot of police and military on certain things should have a 22 as a sidearm to stop and injure people and not necessarily kill them. I think that
Yeah,
they
I
should
can see
use
that.
it because I mean it's just as a pistol. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Because and as you know, or maybe I don't know if you've shot 22 handguns, but they have more kick than the rifles do. Um,
mm,
because
I might have.
because they have because they have um, a smaller barreling, and so
Mhm,
there's more kick in the hand anyway, and there's not as much weight in the firearm itself to hold it
mhm,
down. Like there's all those factors in there. But I wanted to. So I sent you the song. You can listen to it earlier. I actually recorded it live some years ago.
mhm,
Um, but let's see but the lyrics to this song um, are interesting, and I want to see what you think about this. Let me first let me pull it up myself so I don't screw up my own lyrics. I've written so many songs that like it's getting to a point where some of them I remember, and some
some
of them
of
I
them
have
you
to look
don't.
back on. Yeah.
Mhm.
So this was actually January 10th, 2012, when I at least have this one was published. So tell me how much of this you can relate to, or if it's totally off. And
Okay.
I'll tell you the feedback I've gotten from other people who are Marine Corps and also even an Army general who looked at
Ooh.
this. Um, so it says, all right. Uncle Sam said that he would pay for school if I enlist. All I have to do is go overseas and take out the enemies on his list. And so I'm separated from myself, separated from who I really am. They paint this picture of a war and say enemy combatants like it's us against them. But I still pick up my sniper rifle and my flak jacket because I'm ready to ship out. And if the world needs a reminder, they're going to get it because the core is going to show them what it's about. Because I'm a killing machine. That's the first verse.
I love it.
Okay. All right. Anything untrue or or like too much or like too much embellishment there? Do you think?
No, it's perfect. I'm literally getting chills. Like it's so true because you do like the way they train us and they do it very purposefully. Like they it's always the enemy and our targets when again we right now the target is like this guy with like a beanie and like glasses and like a beard, so it's very just and it could be anybody, right? But
Right.
before then they just had literally it was a we call it the B mod or the body
Right.
modified
I
it was
remember
just
that
like
one.
it's just kind of like
Silhouette.
a silhouette. Yeah, it's a black
Yeah.
silhouette, so you never it's never like you never get personal, it's always the enemy,
Right.
it's never like Joe Schmo and has a family, right?
Right.
um and so you do become disconnected from yourself. And I like we were talking earlier, you the Marine Corps or any service branch, but at least for me in the Marine Corps, I can only speak from experiences. You get so consumed, and you're labeled you're a Marine. You're expected to do these things. You're supposed to act this way, and you're supposed to kind of think this way, and you're supposed to walk this way, and can't have your hands in your pockets at all unless you're retrieving something.
Yeah.
And all these little silly rules that are supposed to it's all about presentation. Everything is how you present yourself,
Yeah.
and you wear the same thing every day. You really don't have a choice. You really don't.
Mm.
I mean, how you do your hair and how you wear a uniform, of course, is up to you. But you always want to look spick and span. And
Sure.
I kind of got to the point a few times here and there, like I've said, is who am I anymore? Like you said, and
Mm.
like you get disconnected from yourself, and you step back and you're like, what do I like? Do I really like these things, or am I trained to
Mm.
like these things? And
Right.
I do. I do like that. There's certain things I don't like, but it's you kind of forget who you are. And I remember before I even went in, I saw this video of a female Marine saying, "You're a woman first and a Marine second." And
Mm.
the Marine Corps tries to kind of flip it on you. And she's like,
Right.
never forget you're still a woman. Never forget that you're
Right.
still a person at heart. And
Mm.
so many Marines drink the Kool-Aid, and you're a Marine first. The Marine Corps comes first. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, so yeah, everything is right. I would change sniper rifle to M16, but that's just me. But you're right. That's the only thing. But it was very, very
Right.
well rhyming and poetic, and the meter, the meter
So
was
the
great.
so the singing it goes. Um, Uncle Sam said that he would pay for school if I enlist. All I have to do is go overseas and take out the enemies on his list. But I'll let you listen to the song later. I sent you the
Yeah,
link to that, and I updated
yeah.
the player. So, verse 2 says, so because this is a very specific situation here. So it says, every morning I arose to a scorching sun and hot blazing sands. And all my brothers in the Corps seem to think that we've arrived in a God-forsaken land. Well, maybe that's because our smart bombs are killing families. There's so much blood on our hands. And some seem to believe we are the new terrorist regime because it comes down from the chain of command. But I still do it because I'm a killing machine.
I'm literally getting my full body chills. Wow. That is so like you put the chain of command, you really have a good description of the Middle East, or even 29 Palms, just a training exercise. Like that
29 bombs, yeah, I know.
yeah. Yeah, that's and then you said it's coming down from the chain of command, and how you tied in there how the world is kind of seeing us as we think we're doing this in the name of freedom, but a lot of us think of us as the world's police, and we need to keep our hands to ourselves. And I mean that's just a
Yeah,
perspective that a lot of people think,
it
and I like
is.
that you kind of came into that. And I've met Marines, they're like, oh, I don't want to kill anybody, I'm just kind of here to be a 9 to 5 person, this is just a job to me. And I'm like,
Right.
if you're not ready to go and put a round down range, what are you doing here?
Mm. Wow. All right. Let's see. Next verse is kind of a refrain. It says, "I've never stood alone out on the battlefield. Though sometimes I wish it was a bad dream, I know it is surreal." And also it says so real. So there's two parts of that. It could be I know it is surreal or I know it is so real.
Mm.
I'm a killing machine. And
Mm.
then finally it says, "So now I'm back stateside trying to get a little rest and some peace." Yeah, right. Because even though my body's home, my mind and soul are still stuck out in the Middle East. And my psychiatrist, she tells me that I'm suffering from something they call PTSD. But I insist right now, as I always will, that there ain't nothing wrong with me. Because don't you remember it was I who signed those papers, and I did so voluntarily. So even though the Corps has honed my skills, I really believe that I always was, and I will always be, just a killing machine.
Wow, I literally get chills every time you say it. It's so true. It's so true, and that's like literally. I say this, but like it's just kind of I say it out of irony, and then it's just kind of become a part of my life. The
Mm.
unironic comments that become part of your life. I say kill because in boot camp, literally, I remember the first time the way I felt and the way um, it came about. So when we were doing our MIG map, so the Marine Corps Martial Arts program, every
Oh, I
time you
remember that.
yeah, you stomp, right? You stomp,
Yeah.
or you just like when you stomp, you say kill, or you
Hmm.
punch, you say kill, and so it's just kind of a rhetoric of you agree with something, or you're giving a
Yeah.
feedback. It's a good thing, right? You're like someone's like, oh
Do
whatever,
you know where
whatever,
that comes
whatever,
from? Do you
kill.
know the
No,
history of the kill and when you say that?
oh please tell me because no one really knows. It's just like a boot camp thing, quote unquote.
Well, it's an adaptation from because I have a bunch of manuals and I have old manuals from the Brinks maps from the martial arts, the Marine martial arts program, and I've just been doing a lot of studying for years. But it comes from it's an adaptation of the what's called ki or spirit shout from martial arts, where they say
Oh,
ki or yeah, right, but they replaced it with kill.
oh,
Because it's been shown that doing the spirit shout helps to also release energy and help to also to produce more force in the movements when you put your body and when you put your voice into it. But little side note, do you know that there was a guy who attempted to kill President
Reagan.
Reagan, and one of the Secret Servicemen jumped in front of the bullet.
Yeah, I remember hearing it like, well, not I don't remember that I was not alive, but like I've seen
Yeah.
videos, heard about it. Yeah.
And so you know that that's not a normal human response to being shot at. Is to jump in front of bullets.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to train that into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so just think about like, see, these are just examples of what most people aren't thinking about how conditionable we are
Mm-hmm.
and how someone can actually condition themselves to jump in front of a bullet.
Yes.
It's not natural, but we can do it. And this is why I really believe that people can do almost anything with their thoughts, because if you can condition yourself to jump in front of a bullet, that is a really a testament to how fantastic our minds are and how we can be so we can train ourselves to do almost anything. And that's just what people are going through when something like that kill, when you stomp, kill, when you punch, kill, right?
Mm-hmm.
um, it's it's conditioning. But do you oh, go ahead, we were going to say something.
Um, and I thought about that. I'm like, well, there. I thought about it. I've thought about it over the years, and so thank you for that little history about it. But I was like,
I do not hear Miss Jillian anymore. Did you hit a pause or disconnect somehow? But she said, last thing you said was thank you for the history. You never really thought about it, but and then you were going to say something. I wonder if she got booted out into another um, room in another universe here on Wisdom. So this title might be a little clickbaity for some people, but it's asking the question. It says, "Is Jillian Gerasimek a killing machine?" And I don't know. Is she saying too much? Conspiracy theorist, did she get cut off because she's talking too much about Marine Corps training here on the Wisdom app? And one of the comments I got from this track was someone said, "Hakeem, I really like this. The haunting melody, the minor chords, and the lyrics portray a disturbing story most of us have never experienced. Love and blessings to the men and women in the armed forces for their sacrifices and all that they do." And that comes from Shandy Davy some time ago when I first wrote this. And Jillian, are you still with us? I do not hear. She has disappeared, but we'll see in just a moment where she's at. And also, this track, I just wanted to get some perspective, and I was going to tell, no, Jillian, I can't hear you now. She just sent me a message in the back channel. So there's something going on with the mic. Is anybody else hearing Jillian? I don't see her little circle popping up here. So how about you jump down and jump back up, Jillian? Try that. See if it fixes something. It could be a glitch in the Maastricht. So we'll see. While she's doing that, I was going to talk to her about perhaps. Let me see. I'm going to send her a message back here. No can hear. Maybe leave queue and come back.
Oh, hello?
Oh, there she goes. Hey, kind of. There was a little bit. I heard a tiny bit.
Changed my mind.
Something. There we go. I see a little bit of the purple circle. So the last thing you were saying was that you said thanks. Yeah, you said thanks for the history. You're still a little bit in the zone. Let's give a hello, Jillian. How are you? Yeah, just go ahead and jump down out of the queue and pop back up here.
Hello,
I don't know if
radio
you can hear that.
over.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So I was gonna say, there you go. About there was an Army general that I met in Tarzana, California, and some other friends who were in the Marine Corps, and even my sister who was in the Navy for 20 years. Everybody pretty much responded in a similar way that Jillian did. So I think that's interesting. That when I wrote it, I didn't really have any reverence for military, even though I have two sisters that were in the military, one for 10 years in the Air Force, one for 20 years in the Navy. But it wasn't, also I wasn't being irreverent. So I don't know how that is. So it says that it's not letting her join right now. I don't know what that is. Well, we'll have to pick this up back up with Jillian in a minute. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna drop down out of here and then also see if me leaving here and coming back up will change any of that at all. So I'll do a little part 2 here. Oh, there she goes. And we'll see what goes on here. But yeah, so all of the responses All right. It says that she was in here, but yeah, there's probably a little bit of uh, glitchiness. I also just updated the app today. Um, I just got an update today, so um, I just updated today for Android. Check. See if one's available. If not, so and that's really it about that track. But I wonder right now. Let's see if I can. I'll play a little bit of the song. Let's see if I can. So I'm going to go to my site called poems.hypnoathletics.com. You can also get to it if you go to Red Coinbase. Poems.hypnoathletics.com. A shorter one is Red, R-E-D, Coin, C-O-I-N, Base, B-A-S-E.com. All one word, redcoinbase.com. And I think it might actually be acrimonium.com too. Oh, there we go. It pops up in the Googles. And then I'm going to go to search and hit Always Faithful because I just updated it. There's a lot of stuff that I have to update on my sites because I have so much stuff going on there that you never... That some of the stuff is out of date, and I really need to go back and refresh stuff and add new players. But let's see. This is what the song sounds like. I recorded it outside, so it this is just what it sounds like here.
And we're back.
Yes, we are.
Uncle Sam said that he would pay for school if I enlist. All I have to do is go overseas and take out the enemies on his list. And so I am separated from myself, separated from who I really am. They paint this picture of a war and say enemy combatants like it's us against them. And so I pick up my sniper rifle and my flak jacket, 'cause I'm ready to ship out. And if the world needs a reminder, they're gonna get it, 'cause the Corps is gonna show them what it's about. Because I'm a killer.
Oh.
All right. So anyway, that was just a little snippet. Welcome back, Jillian. I'm a killing machine. Look at that. I spent that time. How you doing?
Good. I updated the app. I disconnected my service, reconnected it, just put on airplane mode. And so can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so weird. Maybe it was just an app update thing, and I don't know.
Was there an update available for you?
Yeah, there was.
Okay. And what are you using, Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
because I checked for my iPhone update today, so that means you haven't updated for at least a couple days or a week, because I did the iPhone update some time ago, and I checked for one today because I have both. I have two different devices now. I have an iPhone and a. Anyway,
Yeah.
here we are. Here we are. So, so as I was saying before, pretty much. I don't remember anyone that has had much of a different response to those lyrics and the song itself than you have. Even at the 4th annual Zeitgeist Media Festival that I performed at, there was a guy there from the Marines who made the same comments. People were asking me, they're like, "Were you enlisted? Is this your experience? Like, how do you feel like that? Like, where are you getting that from?" And just like a lot of times when I write music, I have no idea why it comes to me like that. It just does.
And it's wonderful. I again, my good friend Al, that I'm going to be doing my podcast with, I need to send it to him. He likes that kind of music, and he would actually probably be able to sing it very well. He has a great voice too. So yeah, I'll see what he thinks about. So yeah. Oh no! Did you lose me?
No, I got you. It's a little choppy, but any parting thoughts or words of wisdom for our fellow wisdomers, or anything you want to say about anything we talked about today, really? And there we go.
There we go.
Jillian's in the metaverse, Matrix. Whoa, that was cool. Now you just turned into a big purple circle. Well, Jillian, don't stress yourself about it right now. We'll catch up later. I really appreciate you coming here today and sharing this topic with me. I know it's can be a little controversial for some, and people, especially if I'm doing this stuff by myself, and I'm writing these things, especially not having any other military background other than, consulting and contracting. Somebody might look at this and say, "How dare you write something like that?" But it's always good for me to connect with enlisted and retired service people and see what they have to say about these things. So anybody, if you really want to check out those lyrics, you can go to redcoinbase.com. That's redcoinbase.com, and that will take you. It says this site can't be reached. Reload. Maybe I don't have that. Well, I guess it's not there anymore. So then you're going to have to just go to, let me see, acrimonium.com. I should still have that. Acrimonium.com. Or just go to poems.hypnoathletics.com. Holy crap, holy. So acrimonium.com comes in. acrimonium.com. That was my death metal band from a while back. Jillian. I think there's a version of it on YouTube. Let me send you that YouTube version. She was just actually, so I'll definitely check it out. Maybe I need to restart my phone. That helps. Is it on YouTube? Yes. But let me find the specific YouTube link so you don't have to look all over the place for it. And there is a definite, let me see. It's under, Killing Machine, Hakeem Alexander. There's one of me doing it in a warehouse in my storage lockup. So I'll grab that one and send that to you, Jillian. Let me see. There we go. And I'm wearing all military garb and stuff. So there it goes. I sent it to you, and you can see I got the American flag in the background, the acoustic guitar, and all the military accoutrements. This one I sent you is from May 27th, 2013. It's on Memorial Day, called Always Faithful, a.k.a. Killing Machine. So, of course, anybody else who'd like to listen to that, you can check it out. And I'm going to wrap this up here. You've been listening to Hypno Athletics, Exercising Your Mind, presented by Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander here on the Wisdom app, Social Audio Inc., featuring Jillian Gerasimek. And this was titled, Is Jillian Gerasimek a Killing Machine? And it was based off the lyrics of a song that I wrote that was Marine Corps inspired. And of course, Jillian is cycling out of the Marine Corps right now. So I just wanted to hear what you had to say. Jillian is very insightful and a very unique person who always has a lot to bring to the table here on Wisdom, and is just very curious and wants to learn, and also has a wonderful spirit. I'm filled with joy, and it's just amazing to see the contrast of how people get into certain jobs and do certain things. And like she said, she found joy in the Marine Corps before, but now not so much anymore. So, but I don't think we didn't answer the. She says, "But am I a killing machine?" We didn't answer the question. No, I don't think that you're a killing machine, Jillian. I think that despite what your training was, and despite all that you have been put into you by having to go through that training, that's something that fortunately you were able to dodge. I think that it might even be difficult for you in the same way that it's difficult for the people that were talked about in the book by the lieutenant colonel who wrote the book called On Killing, where it was found that most people just can't. So, and so it was a book by Dave Grossman called On Killing, and it was The Psychological Cost of Learning to Kill in War and Society by Dave Grossman. He's a psychologist and U.S. Army Ranger. Writes that the vast majority of soldiers are loath to pull the trigger in battle. So I think that you might be in that same category, Jillian, and much love to you, much respect, and I'm excited to see what more the future brings to you as you cycle out of the Marines. So this is Hypno Athletics, Exercising Your Mind, presented by Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander, featuring Jillian Gerasimek here on the Wisdom app, Social Audio Inc., presented for Hypno Athletics, 613 Records, and MC Narcissist from poems.hypnoathletics.com, and the website acrimonium.com, which also leads there, is a nod to my death metal band Acrimonium, who we are in the Encyclopedia Metallum, or the heavy metal encyclopedia. So check it out. Until next time, everybody,